welcome to Before Brunch TV, a show where women are pouring into each other and then their glasses. I'm your host, Stephanie Walters, and today we're talking about dreams. Everybody loves to dream, but what does it take to actually get there? Today I have some special friends joining me in this amazing conversation. I have Brittany, Teresa, and Dominique. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
So, dreams, obviously everybody has them, but I want to talk about just getting into the depths of it. Like, people think like dream, it seems so far out of reach. So like, what would you say your definition, your personal definition of a dream is, and following your dream?
I think it's about your vision, how you see yourself, where you want to be, and then working on how to get there. I know people always talk about the difference between dreams and goals. And a dream, most of the time people say, is something like a thought that didn't have a plan or something like that. But I mean, I think a little hard on yourself. I think it's never bad to dream. I think your dreams and your vision always changes for yourself. So
yeah, that's true. I like the idea of it being a vision. I think the dream is the thing that resonates within you. It's the part of your heart that kind of speaks to your life. So I like the idea of kind of having a picture of that in your mind and being able to move forward with it. I think it's probably the part I like the best about it.
Yeah, I think a dream for me is my highest aspiration. So I have goals that I accomplish daily and weekly and monthly and yearly, but my dream is like, that's the goal, that's the top of the pyramid where I want to get to and where I want my family to be. So
yeah. I agree with all you say. I think for me, my dreams, I've always known what I wanted to do, and I can like visualize it. So I'm not sure how deep you all or any of you guys are into like astrology.
Yes.
But like, so I'm a Pisces, and we're like the ultimate dreamers. We just like, we're so like, sometimes it's almost to a fault. It's like, you know, you dream of this lavish thing, but it's like, you don't have a budget. Yeah, how am I gonna figure this out? But I'm always a believer of like, if I can visualize, if I can see it, I can make it happen. But I think sometimes we get so stuck in like things that are happening in our lives, and it really deters us from following our dreams. For me, for instance, I've been wanting to do this since 2017. I think you two were at my first like focus group in 2017 when I've been talking about doing this show, and then of course life changes happen, things happen, but you know, things in the right time and right space. But a lot of things happen between like getting married, having a baby, not feeling great about myself. Those things kind of stop you from your dreams. So what are some of the things that have hindered you all from really like pursuing the like most passionate thing that you've wanted to do in life?
Life itself, and 9 to 5s, and we all need it, absolutely need it. But sometimes your 9 to 5 can drain you so much that when you clock out and when you're finally done with that 9 to 5, you don't feel like you have time for that dream. So it's just being assertive for yourself and just being determined that if I can punch in for these people that I don't know, honestly, I can definitely punch in for myself. So it was just like being tired, and of course, like being a mom and running a household and doing this and doing that, all of life outside of everything can hinder you from following that dream. But if you want to do it, you gotta do it. And for me, like making lists is really good for me. I'm a big visualizer, and I'm big on astrology as well. So listen, full moons, I'm outside. I got my candle, I got my sage. I'm like, come on, dream. I'm tired of going to work every day.
I love that. And you know, I feel like the thing that that I would add on to that is definitely the 9 to 5 will get in the way, but I feel like too there's a lot of emotional and spiritual, and there's just like a lot of, I don't know, it's kind of like when you have to go get your oil changed in your car, where it just doesn't run as well as it could run if you're giving it what it needs. And I think sometimes we put ourselves last on the list, everything else goes to the top of the list, and in addition to that 9 to 5, we let all of those things kind of sink our spirit a little bit. They burden our heart a little bit, and I think sometimes that it means that our dream gets put on hold, it gets put on the back burner, and it's not a priority in the way that
motivation.
Right. It just kind of sits to the back, and that's such a shame. It kind of hurts my heart a little bit when that happens.
To say it out loud, too, it's like, dang.
I know. It's like, oh,
but it's real.
But it's true, yeah.
I would say, full disclosure, for me, I think it's fear of failure, and also because I'm a competitive person, I'm a Leo. So I think looking at how other people are progressing, I'm like, dang, I need to get to that level. And that's not fair to me or my vision because my dreams are different from other people's. So I can't measure them up the same way. I'm working on it, but I think that's an honest thing for not just me, but other people too.
No, that you have hit the nail on the head with that. One of my biggest challenges, and I'm honest enough to say that I kind of still struggle with it, but I'm getting better, is like looking left and right and seeing what's going on with other people.
But what's so funny is people are looking at you the same way.
Right. Which is, it's crazy. Like, I just had this conversation, like what you're doing right now is somebody's ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, man, but you're looking at other stuff, especially I think, like social media plays a big role. You know, you're looking at like, man, they got that and they only been doing this for a year, but I've been working in this for 10 years.
But then you really
I should
don't know.
Right. You don't know, right. You don't know what's going on, but at the same time, it can make you feel a little inadequate.
Yes.
And then I feel like that fear creeps in and then you're just like over it. I think I went through a period where I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm tired. Like, I've been putting in the work. I was working like 9 to 5, staying up until like 3 in the morning, editing, shooting, and then getting back up and going to work. And still, like, I didn't pop off to the way I wanted it to be, but at the same time, looking back, I'm like, all right, God was preparing me for other things that were coming.
Especially when you know your greatness, when you know that you can do it, and you can, and not even trying to, not neglecting being humble, but when you see somebody else doing it, you're like, I can do better than that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, relax, because maybe you can do better than that, and your platform will be bigger. Right. Are you ready for that, though?
Yeah.
I'm really big on intention, and I feel like you said, timing is everything. You doing this now is your time.
Yeah.
And it's a reason why you're doing it now.
Yeah.
The person that might see it and invest it, they might have not been looking a year ago.
Right.
And now that you're on their radar, and now the year you had this year was crazy.
Yeah.
Come on, atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder sometimes if the journey to really getting your dream, realizing your dream, is to throw that measuring stick away. You know, I had a conversation with one of my girlfriends just this last week where, you know, she was talking about her ex and how, you know, he's moved on with his life and getting married and having kids, and there's just all of this stuff, and, you know, she just, it made her, I don't know, in some way marginalize all of the progress that she's made. That she's an attorney, she's got 2 offices, she's doing all of these amazing things, and she did it because she was courageous enough to step out into that dream for herself. And I was like, you know, I've heard it said that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes,
I truly believe that is a thing, and perhaps that is a part of that realizing that dream. Is you set it aside. You have your own innate giftings and abilities, and you know, I come from a place of faith as well. So you know, so I know that I was created for a purpose. I know I was designed to be this person at this time in this place for a reason. And why would I ever set that to the side?
Yeah.
I mean, this is
it's that perspective. Are you all living in your dream?
I'm gonna say no.
Why?
I'm not sure. I think I probably need to take some time to write out the steps that I need to take to get there. Trying to get into mental health and stuff like that. I've completed the program. Thank you, Lord. That took forever. So now it's a matter. Thank you. So now it's a matter of working towards the next step, which would be the licensure piece, which is going to take more time. And like you talked about the 9 to 5 thing, I gotta work. I can't just not work.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like a balance. Now that I've set up my lifestyle with my salary.
Yes, exactly.
I can't not.
Exactly.
I've become accustomed to certain things. I can't not work.
Yes.
So right now it's just a matter of writing out the plan and remembering to run my own race and not compare myself to other people and what they have going on. So
yeah, if I was asked that question maybe 5 years ago, I would have looked at it differently. But the place that I am in my life now, when I hear, are you living your dream? When you first started, automatically when I hear dream, I thought of career. But when you asked it just now, I thought about how I feel. And because of the life I had before that was so stressful, I had a heart attack at 28 years old. To have that life to now, I'm like, I am living my dream because I'm happy and I'm at peace. My house is a place of peace and laughter and serenity, and I feel safe. Yeah. So that is, I feel like, a dream of mine that has been realized, but then also, of course, the career. So I'm doing what I love to do, not full time. The dream is to own my own production company, and you know what I'm saying, change the narrative for people of color through the eyes of the media. But I'm not fully there yet. I'm working towards it. But I think bigger than that, having peace in my heart is more than any of that. So yeah, But career-wise, I'm working on this.
Yeah.
I would say I'm not quite living my dream yet, but I'm definitely on the journey. So there are some things that I've realized within my own, I've just kind of asked for my eyes to be open, for, to feel those nudges and those pushes and those things that tell you perhaps you're not exactly where you're supposed to be. Perhaps you're not doing everything that you have the capacity to do. And so I think just having that awakening, having that moment was a part of moving forward. So I wouldn't say I'm living the dream, but it's not in a downhearted kind of way. I think it's, okay, I'm excited about and a little bit anxious and nervous about, what this might mean, because I think it means, for me, stepping out in faith and not comparing and, understanding that it's about more than just some accolade that sits on a wall,
Because then once you get that, then what?
How many pieces of paper give value to my life? How many pieces of paper say I made it? And I think that just even knowing that, understanding that, it's exciting to kind of go, okay, well, there's a next step to that, there's a next journey to that, and it's going to be amazing.
What's so important also is hearing us talk about dreams. I know people in their 40s who still don't know what they want to do. So not what age, but how do you think we can help people find their dreams and find their purpose? People that are watching this and dang, they all know what they want to do. What do I do?
I think personally you have to be the example, and I think it's ever changing. So there's certain things that I thought when I reach this point, I'm gonna be happy. This I'm complete a checkbox. That's my dream.
Evolution.
But then these opportunities were presented, and I was just like, I don't think I want that anymore. You know what I mean? And so it's weird because these always things that you dream of, and when the opportunity's been there, you're like, ooh. The time and space, it's maybe a couple years ago I would have wanted this, but right now I'm like, no, I think I'm okay. I'm gonna go a different direction. But you said something really important, that happiness. People don't think of what's your dream. Oh, to be happy.
Yeah.
You always think of I want $1 million. I'm trying to go on a boat. I'm trying to
And I think people think it comes automatically.
With that. So I think
with the celebrities dropping like flies.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are very rich in money, but miserable. And so it's finding that balance. Of course, I like nice things too. I like to spend money. I like to have nice things.
Yeah.
So yes, of course, I want to make a lot of money, but it's at what expense? And I think when you, I was working at a job previously before this, and I loved what I did up until a certain point. Teresa and I were colleagues. And I think the breaking point for me was when it came down to a money issue, a salary thing, and it was almost well, you're not worth that much because you don't have additional degrees behind your name. And so after that, I said, okay, well, this is a ceiling for me. If you guys aren't gonna pay me more, and I'm busting my tail,
I'm doing the work.
I'm gonna have to move on. So I took a leap of faith and I left, and it turned out to be the best thing for me. But that situation taught me okay, you always gotta bet on yourself. Because it's not fair. I'm how can you shortchange me when I'm doing the exact same amount of work as somebody else who's got 3 and 4 and 5 degrees, as if my 1 degree isn't enough. So in that aspect of my dreams, I was all right, bet on yourself is working out. So what are what's the biggest leap of faith you guys have taken in terms of betting on yourself? All right, well, I'm gonna bet on black, I'm betting on myself.
Island for the horse, girl. Island for the horse. Honestly though, I got married when I was 18 years old. We have 4 beautiful children. I wouldn't 18 years old and was married for 12 years. Absolutely. But of course, wouldn't take back the experience because it made me who I am now. He's not a bad person at all. However, I had to bet on myself, and I had to know what kind of life I wanted to live and how I had children looking up to me. Do I want them in my situation, or do I want them to have better? So I had to be about it. I was out, and that was the best decision. The most stressful, and if life changes and you have to adjust and do things for yourself, and it was crazy for a little bit, but let me tell you what, bet on black.
Yes, always bet on yourself.
I love that. Mine was probably, you and I, we worked in an educational realm, but before I moved into education, I actually started out in finance, and I worked for a large finance corporation in Southern California. It was at a time in finance when you got to fly on corporate jets and things were really great. It was really nice. But It also meant that my family was back on the East Coast and I didn't see them. I was flying in on Christmas Eve and flying out on Christmas Day, and it got really bad. And I remember there was a day I'd flown back out Christmas Day, day after Christmas, had to be in Palm Springs. I'm coming back. I was in a bad car accident and I was laid up, and the only people who were around were my neighbors. And I remember thinking,
so your boss didn't show up?
Yeah, well, I mean, she did, but my thought at that moment was, what am I living for? I'm making really good money, but I don't have the time to make these connections. You were talking about peace and joy and having this. Had none of that. I felt like a salmon swimming upstream all the time. There was always somebody you had to watch. There was politics, backstabbing, all of this stuff. So,
like for what?
Quit my job,
Time to spend the money.
sold off everything I had, flew home, and I remember walking into my parents' house and going, I hope God knows what he's doing because I have no idea what's going on. But within a month, I had a job, I had a car, I had an apartment, I had everything. And every door has opened since. If I listen,
you align with
right,
your purpose,
then absolutely. And I thought, okay. But it's hard, right? There's a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, because you're like, what if it doesn't work out?
Right.
You're always like, did I make the right decision?
Yeah. So I'd say that's probably one of the first times I bet on myself.
Yeah. I'm also believe though too, like God doesn't operate in confusion. Right. So when I feel like if you step out on something and a door opens, another door, I believe that was meant to be and it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
Like when it's too much confusion, I'm like, that's why I need to be still and just like wait it out.
Yep.
I'm really trying to think of a time where I kind of jumped out there, and I am into calculated risk. I'm like, what's gonna happen?
I'm
good.
You're a
I'm good.
calculated risk person.
Yeah, I can't think. I mean, I don't know if it was going to grad school because the final semester was difficult with trying to get my internship hours working full time. So I was working full time, then I was doing in-home counseling, then I was also doing counseling at a private practice just so I could get my internship hours. And I don't know how I did it. Now I don't have any other stuff. I'm like, why am I so tired? What's going on? But
What, babysit?
Sure.
I think one of the biggest challenges for a lot of women too is like following their dreams, like when you don't feel good about yourself.
Yes.
I think it's so like whether you're like stressed out, whether you don't feel like you look how you want to look, it's like hard to really like feel good about what you're doing when you're not feeling good in here. Have you guys like experienced
my biggest thing was social media, and I had to realize what it was doing because it's fun, and even if I didn't look at social media and want to look like anybody else, it was just everybody was having a great time on Jets. You was on Jets.
That was Teresa. She wasn't posting about it.
Like here I am at the time, a double major at ODU. I had 4 kids I was taking care of. I had 2 full-time jobs. I'm doing all of this stuff, and I can barely just do anything. And people are doing way less than I am. Like you see everybody else doing way less and it's they're having a lot more. So that was my killer for motivation. Like why am I even gonna try to work hard if my efforts right now are just leaving me tired? I got heart problems.
I know.
And I'm not able to enjoy my life. Like what is the point of doing all this work? But when I stepped out and changed my life, the perspective changed. My perspective changed, my atmosphere changed, and then it made sense. Things started lining up, and then I started working towards my dream, and things are opening up now, but you have to be right within yourself first. Because if you're tired and depressed and stressed out, how you gonna work on your dream? Because if you get the dream, if somebody came to me and was like, here's 10 million to open up your company, I was in no place to do that.
Exactly.
No place. I would have lost it.
You have to get out of your own way.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes we are our own worst critic. I think we are the voice in our head sometimes that is really digging deep, and it's easy to say and hard to practice that recognition that you have value in who you are.
Yes.
Regardless of what anybody else thinks, you have value. It is, you are a good and wonderful thing all on your own without doing anything. And I think it's, like I said, it's easy to say, but sometimes it's hard to practice. You get out there in today's culture, you get out here in a natural world, and all of a sudden there are things that are kind of beating down in you and trying to pull those things out of
that
you.
That might not even be real.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, might not even be real.
Right. Well, and that's true. And I've told you this before. Like, I've always struggled with my weight. It'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go up, it'll go down. And I, for many years, let that dictate how how sociable I was going to be, whether or not I was going to connect with other people. And that was really kind of what it boiled down to, was I was missing out on life. Like, I was missing out on connections, and I was missing the opportunity to be a blessing to other people because I was busy worried about myself. Yeah. And I thought, okay.
There's people who care less about that.
They don't.
They just want to be around you.
Even know
They don't care. I care. They don't care.
And it's like, as long as I feel like if you're a good person,
Yes.
like what's in here, like the physical, okay, people are fly all day long, it's cool. But it's like, how do you treat people?
Yes.
How do you make me feel? Like, how do I feel when I walk into a room with you, and how do I feel when I leave the room?
Energy does not allow.
It doesn't.
Absolutely.
Like, it does not. And like, I'm such a feeler, and so literally I can walk into a room and feel somebody's energy immediately. If it's off, I'm like, I can't.
You're an empath.
I hold on to a lot of people's emotions and feelings. It's
Like,
tough because sometimes I know, and you know what? I've made decisions, like dream and career decisions, based off other people's feelings too. Because I'm like, if I take this, am I gonna hurt somebody else's feelings by this? And I don't want to make them think that I'm like trying to overstep. You really think about these things, and I'm like, why would they do the same for me? Like, why am I sacrificing the things that are coming my way on the account of somebody else?
Yes,
like,
they're not going to be thinking this hard about
Exactly. It's like, it's so challenging. What is the most important thing to you right now?
My faith. It helps me stay centered. Helps me to not worry about what other people are doing. Helps me to be intentional and focused, and gives me peace. So when I can't explain something, I'm like, okay, let me go pray. Let me calm my nerves. Let me go over here and go pray before I say something I shouldn't say. God, give me the filter, please. Before I say something. Yes, I need my job.
That's so funny that you said that. I would say the same thing. In fact, I was sitting out there doing my devotional before I came in, because it's something that I realized I was missing. So I've been on this journey to lead an authentic life, to really be the person that I was designed to be. That's something that's very important to me. And I have been working really hard toward that, and I realized the piece that I was really missing was that I was not really digging into my faith. I was like, I'm a Christian, like I know the road. I got, I know the Bible. We're good. But what I realized was I really wasn't practicing it. And for me, having that faith it's the center of everything. It's a part of, the giftings that I believe that I have been given that allow me to do the work that I should be doing here.
Yes. Well, I'm the odd person now because I don't subscribe to a religion. I used to, but I do not.
It's not odd though. I mean, that's that's real. Like, everybody has different perspective for sure.
Oh yeah, I love y'all. So, but to me, is to be a light. No matter where I am, no matter who I'm dealing with, I don't want anybody leaving me feeling like heavy and feeling dark. I want people to come to me if they have a problem, they want to share a story that they're excited about. If I'm at work, whatever I touch, whatever I lay my hands on, whatever I'm around, I want to make it better than when I left. I want people to feel valued, for them to feel like they're cared about. I want them to feel like I'm the warm butterfly, rainbows, glitter. That's me. I do not like violence. I do not like people who yell. I do not like that type. I'm an Aquarius, so I'm very free-spirited. I want everybody to be okay, and however I can help that happen, that's what I want to do.
I love all those perspectives. I think for me, honesty, in terms of being honest with yourself. I just wrote an article about being honest with yourself. I think sometimes we get into this like, no, I deserve all this stuff, but we're not putting in the work to get what we want. And I'm guilty. Like, you say you want to do, have your company and be this TV star or whatever, but like, I know, when I got home, I was chilling. I was scrolling on social media, watching TV. Like, I was exhausted from thinking about having to build this empire that I didn't have the energy. But you have to keep it real. Like, okay, if you're not gonna put in the work to get there, then you can't have it. Same thing. I think we talk like going to the gym. We just had this conversation. It's like, okay, you say you want to lose baby weight, you want to lose whatever weight, but you sitting here having a bowl of pasta for dinner with a bread and like 3 glasses of wine.
Right. Don't be rationalizing like, when I get the money, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna be there.
Right.
But like, no, you gotta prove. Practice makes perfect.
And that's the thing I found too.
Yes.
Right. New Year to me.
The holidays, I just can't say no.
The thing is, but then your holiday extends like, okay, so it's always like, all right, well, you got Thanksgiving, and okay, here comes Christmas. All right, New Year's. Okay, but then I got to celebrate a little bit more.
My birthday right after Valentine's Day.
And my birthday's in March.
Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're back at Thanksgiving again. And so it's like, you know, we can't like ask more of other people than we're doing for ourselves. And I think that goes hand in hand with your dreams. Like, you can't ask and pray and meditate on whatever it is that you want if you're not putting in the work for it.
You're still here, you're still dreaming.
Yeah.
We all want something better. And some people's dream might just to be to own their own home, and they're good with that, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
A lot of times we hear people dream bigger. Maybe they good.
That is, Some people, their dream might
true.
be the secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's cool.
fine.
Like, we can't like crap on their dreams because their dream was secretary and your dream was to be the CEO.
Yes, exactly.
And I think people get that.
We
that
need all
misconstrued
levels
too.
taken care of.
So for people watching who might be struggling with like finding their dreams or following their dreams or just like really figuring this thing out, like what kind of advice could you all give to them?
I would say make a list and start thinking about what it takes to get there. If you don't know what it takes to get there, but maybe you know someone who's there where you want to be, and maybe connect with them and talk to them. But also, like you said, be honest with yourself. If you're not ready to make that step, don't waste anybody's time. Like, can you mentor me? Or, hey, I was wondering if I could. No, be serious. Have your plan together, and even say, hey, can I meet with you? Talk to you about a few things. I'm not sure where I want to go with it yet. Be honest with yourself and those people too. I mean, if you really want to be taken seriously.
I would say know your why. Know your why, because I think that drives a lot of what you do, whether it's swinging through a drive-through, or it's heading to the gym, or it's taking time to be still and sit in prayer. I think if you know your why, you're gonna go a long way. But to figuring out how to achieve that dream, how to figure out what your dream is, but then also how do you move forward in it.
For a lot of us, our life was elementary, middle, high, college, employment. So you were kind of put on the fast track. Maybe your parents told you it was military or college or whatever, and you started working and you really didn't take time to figure out who you were. So I would suggest that if somebody doesn't know what they want to do, take the Myers-Briggs personality test. Figure out who you are. It's a series of questions. It's a lot of questions. They ask some things more than once just to really figure out who you are. And then it gives you like a general type of personality, and it tells you what careers you might be suited for. Do that. Figure out what might click to you, and then once you have like 10 suggestions, something might stick out. Try some different stuff. Figure out who you are. Figure out where you will excel if you've been the person that's kind of been just pushed through the system and kind of just going through the motions.
I think I would say number one, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, I love when people like reach out to me and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, help. Like, can you, I think it's nothing worse than reaching out to somebody and like nobody will pour back into you, because I feel like if you have been gifted with something, I think it's your responsibility, and this is just my opinion, not saying you have to be some sort of role model, but to pour back into the next generation, because you're not always going to be here. So pour back into people. And
there's room for everybody.
Also there is room for everybody. So just because somebody's doing something that you want to do, you can do it too. Nobody is you.
It's a straight wall with nail salons every other spot. Everybody making money.
Exactly. Nobody is you. And then I say, don't deny your instincts of like on what you want to do, because so many times people tell us like I've known since 7 what I wanted to do. And I told my parents what I wanted to do, and like they helped me out a little bit, you know, send me little castings and all that stuff. But I think about like, man, what if they really, really, really listened and poured into me when I was like 7, 10, 12, and where could I be now? You know what I mean? So now that I have a daughter, I'm like, if she tells me, Mom, I want to do this, I'm gonna listen to it and like pour into that, because I think our parents kind of get caught up in the, well, you want to have something that makes money, so you need to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or educator, whatever. You gotta go to college, whatever that may be. But that's not everybody's path. So I say, listen to that inner instinct. Just because it might not be the traditional job or career role, like, don't deny that instinct. Like, it's something within you that's tugging on you to say, hey, it's pulling you towards that. So I say, don't deny your instinct.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for sharing your insight. Y'all gave some really, really good advice, and I'm wishing y'all the best. Good vibrations for all your dreams, and may they manifest well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are watching, I hope you really gained some gems today from our conversation, and continue to follow us on social media at Before Brunch TV. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Cheers.